One common way of mounting DDoS attacks that became particularly prevalent with the hacktivist movement is crowdsourcing them. Now, what I mean by that is that you'd see tweets like these. And then some instructions on where to fire your lasers at. These tend to be calls to arms for hacktivists to join together and target a particular web application in what amounts to a distributed denial of service attack. So in this case, you've got a collection of individuals, inevitably spread out across the world, all targeting the one web application. Now, if you get enough of these individuals making enough requests, then it's possible to take that targeted website offline. Now, there are a lot of variables in terms of what is enough traffic to take it offline, and we'll talk about those a little bit more later on. But certainly if messages like this can coerce enough people, possibly thousands of people, to simultaneously bombard a website with malicious traffic, then it could indeed take it offline. We've seen attacks like this be successful against the likes of PayPal in the past, so certainly they do have a track record of causing outages. Now, another thing that you may notice in many of these tweets here are the letters LOIC or LOIC, and LOIC is a favorite of hacktivists. I want to show you what LOIC looks like and how it works, so let's go and take a look at that now. This is the low orbit ion cannon, otherwise known as LOIC. So this is the tool that we kept seeing featured in those tweets earlier on. And again, it's a favorite of hacktivists because it's freely available software. They run up on their machine and simply target a website. You get enough people running LOIC together and targeting the same website, and it may be taken down as part of a distributed denial of service attack. Now, LOIC is an extremely basic tool. We simply enter a URL, so let's pick our sample vulnerable website, and then lock on. Now, when we lock on, it resolves the domain to an IP address. There are a few other options that can be defined here as well in terms of how the attack packets are formed and then the destination they're sent to. For example, the port, which will default to port 80 because that's what HTTP runs over by default. We'll choose a method, TCP, UDP, or HTTP. We'll go with HTTP for the moment. And then other attributes such as how many threads to run and then what speed you'd like the process to run at. I'm going to leave everything else where it is at the moment. And this exercise is not so much to teach you how to mount a DDoS attack using LOIC, because as an individual you can't mount a DDoS attack. You need other people as well, otherwise it is not distributed. And the fact that it is not distributed is really not going to make it a denial of service attack either, because one individual just using LOIC is not going to be enough to take any website offline. But that said, let's hit I'm a charging my laser and start LOIC targeting our website. Now, as we can see in the attack status down the bottom, it's simply going through making connections and issuing requests. That's all that's happening. Now, depending on the nature of the website, TCP or UDP packets may be a more impactful denial of service attack. And certainly some of the operations we've seen hacktivists running have provided explicit instructions on tailoring LOIC to launch an attack in a customized way so that it does result in maximum carnage. The main thing to take away from this, though, is just how easy it is to run this software. So you can see how hacktivists, who are frequently kids, get involved in these DOS attacks, because this is all it takes. Fire up LOIC, put in a URL, and start the attack. If you're the one orchestrating these attacks, so long as you can get enough people to run LOIC and repeat this process, you may well actually be able to take the target website offline. And again, there is a history of this style of attack actually being quite effective. But it is also very rudimentary. It's a simple tool and it requires crowdsourcing. DDoS has moved beyond that. In fact, DDoS is now frequently available as a service. Let's go and take a look at what I mean.